Yeah. Hey, you know what? You know that Robert Mitchum quote, the famous Robert Mitchum quote. You know, you can't please everybody. You should just stop trying. That should just be applied to all Star Wars fans at this point. I mean, it's just
boy, I have never seen for a Star Wars movie such a divided reaction, which actually makes me kind of want to see the movie. You know,
I think that makes for a better movie. Actually, I think it makes for a better viewing experience. I think it makes for a better movie because it reminds me, if you guys will probably remember, the response to Empire was not universal love when that came out initially. You know, let's be very honest. Let's call. The prequels, everyone hated them, but Empire was not well received like the previous movie.
Now, is it? You know, I've been having a Facebook argument with a guy, and he said the same thing. And my memory of Empire was that everybody loved it. Everybody. I don't remember anybody saying anything negative about it at all.
Well, I remember people. No, I remember the reviews. The reviews were actually rather mixed, if I'm not mistaken. But I do remember there were people who did not like it. But it's hard to say there was how should I say there. It was not like this though, obviously, and not like the prequels. But there was some differing opinions. There was not the universal love as the previous film. There was don't get me wrong.
This one the critics are overwhelmingly on its side and the audience is not. That's what's weird.
It's weird, but it's the audience. It's not the audience. The casual moviegoer loves it. The hardcore Star Wars fan of a certain age does not like it. And I guess we should talk about that for a little bit there'll be no spoilers here. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it.
I don't care.
I think. Well, I know you don't care. I don't. And I don't care either. I'm just trying to be.
I've already been spoiled. I've already read the spoilers, so it doesn't matter to me.
Well, yeah. The spoiler I keep telling people, Finn is really the product of Leia and Lando in between Empire and Jedi. They got it on. No, that's the spoiler I tell people. No, I think I see the problem with a certain, especially like the people. I think Rian Johnson went a couple steps further than J.J. Abrams. I think he made a movie specifically for the Star Wars fan who didn't like the prequel trilogy. I really do believe that, just in the mannerisms of the. And the reason I say that is because Luke's arc, Luke's whole mentality is he's come to hate the Jedi. He has obviously the same knowledge we have. When you watch the prequel trilogy, I don't know if it was Lucas's intent or not, but you really walk away at the end of that trilogy, even the end of the first film. What was so great about these people? They take kids away from their parents. They're very arrogant. They're very, they're all these things that we would associate with villains. They're not particularly nice, and they're not particularly bright or wise, for that matter. You really wonder, what is so great about these people? Luke came to the same conclusion, it turns out, after 30 years.
I'm sure the fans don't like that.
But it's called. I also think with young fans, I'm talking about fans in their early 30s. I'm noticing late 20s. They're like, well, why he wasn't like that at the end of Return of the Jedi? Well, of course not. You age. People age, and usually they change. He's not going to be the same person he is at the end of Return of the Jedi. Now, is he? That's what.
And that's just it. Because these are viewers that, in a big way, return to Star Wars because they don't want to have aged that 30 years either.
Right.
So they want much of the same that they saw when they were 14.
Yes.
I had no problem. Let me revise that.
Oh, you're gonna be like
I had lots of problems with Last Jedi, but I will say that J.J. Abrams is Rian Johnson is a better filmmaker than J.J. Abrams. J.J.
Right.
Abrams is a great committee filmmaker. He'll I think he delivered just what was needed for The Force Awakens. I think The Last Jedi has sparkles of an original directorial touch that J.J. Abrams can't bring to whatever he does.
Right.
and that's what I appreciate most about The Last Jedi. Its biggest problems are its bloat. I mean, there's if you so many plot points in the thing. Say it takes 5 steps to get to that plot point when all you needed was one or two. There's a lot of red herrings in this thing that just don't belong. There's no reason for it to be 2.5 hours. If it were, if it were a great movie for 2.5 hours, I would say, man, that movie wasn't too long. It was great, but it just
it's the middle, isn't it?
So many. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a casino planet though. I think it takes you out of the movie. I think I don't mean to jump on that bandwagon, but I do feel like that could have been trimmed, or really, it is just one big red herring, that whole sequence.
Hey, I want to interject here. Somebody said that they thought that the plot of the movie was stolen from Battlestar Galactica, the pilot movie from Battlestar Galactica, which is it
owes a lot to the Ron Moore series, the new Battlestar Galactica. It's really funny. The old Battlestar Galactica was accused of being a ripoff of Star Wars, and this one is being accused of being a ripoff of Battlestar Galactica. It's interesting. It does have, because I guess of the fleet nature of the film, that they're in space and they have the Rebel fleet and all that. Yes, it has that. There's definitely that feel to it. But that also, I think, shows you the influence of Ron Moore's show and what he was able to do with Battlestar Galactica. So I don't really fault them for that. I think look, there's problems with the movie, but not enough that I think to take away from the overall enjoyment, if that makes sense. I think it's, as far as these new movies go, I think it might be the best directed of the three, but it can't hold a candle to not much can hold a candle to the original trilogy. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just hard to do that.
Well, and the original trilogy, part of why all that bloat is a betrayal of Star Wars, because the original trilogy really thrived on its simplicity. There were very clearly identifiable characters that fit a type within this mythology.
Right.
And it worked. It worked because they were very simple, good and evil, very simple ideas at play. This one wants to complicate it in a way that's totally unnecessary. But I will say that the opening battle is really beautifully visualized.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of more bold colors in this.
Right.
I like what they do with the Luke character. I think a lot of people are pissed off by what happens at the end to Luke, and my point is, he served his arc. I mean, that's the full arc of the character right there, and I don't see why people just want him to stick around just for the sake of it. I'm sure he'll pop up again like Yoda.
Yeah, a lot of people are mad that they didn't get to see Luke really kick ass. Is that true? That he doesn't?
The most rousing part of it is the most rousing part of it is the climax with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a huge audience pleaser. People were standing up and cheering. I thought it was badass.
Yeah. I mean, let me say something. So we're going to see it Thursday night, and then I went back to see it on Friday. And the Friday audience after work, guys, you have not been an audience this energized in a long time. They were into it, especially when he gives that wink to C-3PO. You can cut this out. I mean, people are like, oh, shit, something's going down. And, I think the third act of the movie, when they get to the abandoned Rebel base, is where the movie really kicks into high gear. It feels like, I think, Jamie, you would agree, it feels like a Star Wars movie. Again, it really
it's a 45-minute climax.
Yeah,
I mean, it's never ending.
I have to let you guys. I have to say this to the viewers, though, our listeners. Ryan Johnson. Okay, if George Lucas is a student of Kurosawa, and especially this has echoes of Kurosawa too, as Rashomon. But there's another film, samurai film, that people need to be aware of, and this is to prepare for this film, Ryan Johnson watched Hideo Gosha's Three Outlaw Samurai, and I would keep that in mind while watching this movie. And I do see the influence of it, especially towards the end, and also the things in the Snook's throne room. There's definitely has that touch to it. So that's something to keep in mind too. This is more Gosha than Kurosawa, but there's that too. I definitely, I mean, I understand what people are saying. I understand that, but guys, I mean, that your fan theories, and I'm speaking to whoever they don't make good movies. They really don't, and it's so predictable. Do you really just want your fan theory? I mean, Lucasfilm told you what they call it as a fan series. They got rid of the expanded universe books, for crying out loud. I mean, they just got rid of that. So I think people want to come in and want. It's like how we were how a lot of us are with the prequels, sequels. We wanted. Oh, this isn't how we envision this. It's sort of the same thing, I guess.
Do you think that the
weird.
endless? Here's a question though. Do you think that the endless, speculation, in between the movies, you got 2 years of online speculation and so forth. Do you think that hurts the movies?
Yeah, I do, because I think it's really funny though. We have a very entitled generation, very much like the main villain of the movie. Very spoiled, entitled kid. So, it goes in some unexpected places, and there's some stuff in it that's very uncharacteristic for a Star Wars movie. I mean, I hate to say this, but you could tell that this Star Wars is more influenced by the Marvel movies than any other, because they're owned by the same corporation. First of all, secondly, because there is a lot of humor in the movie, and most of the humor lands. I mean, most of the humor it works.
Yeah.
But from the very start,
some of it doesn't, right?
No,
but not to an embarrassing degree. I mean, if 9 out of 10 jokes land, then that's a success.
Okay.
But the Benicio del Toro character is it's weird, but that doesn't belong because that doesn't go anywhere. I was thinking, man, wouldn't it be a great idea to put Lando Calrissian in that part and try to find a way for him to have gotten them in there.
I agree. That's a great point. That's my problem. That middle part of the movie, it just doesn't feel like it belongs. That's the problem. But I still found it more enjoyable than not. So I mean, I just think I think it did what it had to do. Maybe not to the degree of a lot of other people, but I did enjoy it for what it is. But it was Luke. Yeah, Luke is the movie to me. Luke is what I really came to see. I won't lie to you.
What's also
is he good in it?
The JJ.
I'm sorry. Is he good in it?
Yes. Quite. I really do think it's a great performance. I thought Carrie Fisher was good in it too. And the sad thing about that is that's all we get. That's it. That's it. The next film has one thing going for it. I couldn't tell you what it's going to be. Not in a million years. And I think that's the most promising thing I can say about it is no one knows what it's going to be.
For me, I mean, The Force Awakens, what worked about that, just because it was needed after those terrible prequels, is that it thrived on nostalgia. Like, the highlights of that movie were the nostalgic element.
Right.
This one, those nostalgic elements did not work very well for me. Like, there's a scene between Luke Skywalker and Yoda that I thought was really kind of sloppy and haphazard, the way they played between each other. I was like, well, that could have played for a lot more pathos. But the stuff that's original to this movie, what it does with its characters, the fact that the Last Jedi isn't Skywalker or Rey, it subverted expectations in several ways that I thought made it a worthy episode in this franchise.
Some have also said that this movie begins and ends in basically the same place, so no real forward momentum is really made outside of the Luke character. And what happens then.
talked about, I guess, at the end of when we were talking about The Force Awakens, kind of, how the resistance or whatever, it keeps getting smaller and smaller. That would be the one difference, I guess. And I find that a very interesting thing.
But the way it develops is there's a whole new generation that are coming up. I mean, that's what the last shot of the movie means.
Right.
And the arc of Adam Driver's character takes a really unexpected turn, where that's going to go places that are interesting. I've never thought I'd say this about a Star Wars movie. It has the best kill out of any Star Wars movie.
Okay,
interesting. I'll be looking for that one.
I mean, it sounds like something like we're talking about a Rambo. I don't expect to say that for Star Wars. But.
No, of course not.
One detail that I've learned about that really makes me roll my eyes, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it, is there's a moment where Princess Leia is flying through space.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to see it to believe
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's a little wacky, but I'm not watching a Frederick Wiseman movie. I mean, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, but there are some rules. I mean, this is something we've never seen in a Star Wars movie before.
But isn't that okay, though? Can I ask? The last film is criticized for, the nostalgia for basically tracing over the original Star Wars and everything.
Right.
This one tries to be something different, and it's getting criticized for that. So it does go back to the whole Mitchum thing. You can't please anybody, so stop trying. I mean,
and here's another thing too. I guess this is the first one that doesn't have a Death Star, right? So how does that work out? How does that work out for it? Because I was waiting for this, and it might be that people are reacting in a sort of cognitively dissonant kind of way, where they're like, wait, something's wrong here. There's no Death Star. It's weird.
I didn't think once about the Death Star. I didn't miss the Death Star at all. It's basically a standoff. I mean, it's basically the rebel army is waiting for the resistance to run out of fuel, so they can blast them into infinity and get rid of them.
Right.
That's what it is. It's a space standoff. That's one subplot, and then the other is Luke and Rey on the island, and they engage a lot more in what the Force is in conversation, and they kind of set the stage for what Leia ends up doing in space and what Luke does at the end of it, where they expanded the power of the Force and what it means and how you attain it. I had no problem. I'm not. That's so unbelievable. I've never said that in a Star Wars movie.
Right.
Yeah. Well, here's another complaint that I've read about.
Uh-oh.
That you know how Luke had to really train to be a Jedi. Actually had to go away and train, and here's Rey, and she's just an instant master.
Well,
she doesn't train
film,
at all.
She was that in the other film. No, she doesn't really train, but she already there's. Oh God, how do I say this? So she really I actually think it's a relief that. Can we talk about spoilers in front of you, Dean? Is that all right?
Yeah, no problem. I mean,
okay, can I?
Go ahead.
Her parents are. Her parents, I think, they're no one we know. They're as Adam Driver tells us, they were nobodies. They're junk traders who basically traded her in for drinking money. Essentially, that's the exact thing. And I think that's actually really that goes against the whole Star Wars thing. And also, good. She's not a Skywalker. She's not a Kenobi's granddaughter.
I personally like that.
I thought that was.
Yes.
I like that too. Because not everybody's brother and sister should be fucking each other in this space opera.
I agree.
I thought it was like a nice change up.
Yeah,
it is.
Nice.
It is, and we don't need any more Luke, I'm your father moments or whatever. I mean that's
it works.
We're all looking for that stuff now anyway.
Yeah, but here's the thing. it's so nice because all these fan theories, I'm like, guys, if you included this in it, I would roll my eyes. The whole idea that she's Ben Kenobi's granddaughter, really? We got to bring him back into this? Did you hear the other theory? Oh, she's really Palpatine's daughter. I didn't know he was getting busy with the ladies. I had no idea. These fan theories were so ridiculous. You just really, and you wanted this in your movie? Didn't you want to be surprised? Wouldn't it be nice to be surprised again? I mean, that's what I don't. It's really, and I think that's what it is. I think there's a how should I say it? A small group in the hardcore fan community that's so outraged every time the movie. You can't please them, and you have to ask. You have to be like Francois Truffaut, and at the end of Closing Encounters of the Third Kind when he goes to Richard Dreyfuss. Well, what more do you want? I mean,
they want to write it. They want to write it.
And it would suck. It would be the worst thing ever made.
Maybe one day, I think maybe one day, and maybe this will happen, that Disney will put up some kind of big contest to get some people, some super fans in to actually consult on the screenplay. Or to, not to write it. I don't think they would ever do that, but to consult on it.
What's character development? What do you mean, what's my character motivation? What's motivation? I don't have any motivation. I'm in my mom's basement. I got a bowl or my bong water. I got it. I mean, what do you mean?
That stuff, I didn't understand the salt turning red. Maybe because I'm not a chemist, but the visual of that was really
I like
stunning
that,
at the end of it.
That should be in your review, like quoted. I'm not a chemist, but I like that. That's good.
Well,
but
me personally, yeah,
it is.
I mean, I've heard that too about it. I've heard that the look of it also is very, very much, a kind of a nod to Empire Strikes Back as well. A little darker, like blacker, I guess. Not, just,
with the characters too.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry. There is a streak of racism going on too among some of the fans that don't like. They think that Star Wars is playing the diversity for diversity's sake, which the Asian character in the film that is Finn's sidekick throughout the film, she's a really endearing character. I like her a lot.
Yeah, but she's getting some negative reviews. What is it, Rose? Is that her name?
Yeah, Rose. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just don't like the fact that there's a woman in charge and stuff. They some of them don't, some of them don't embrace all that at all.
It is people show their true colors during this franchise. It seems when they don't like it, they literally let their true colors come out.
Yeah. Mm.
And you know what? I mean, Carrie Fisher's dead, but they can bring back Princess Leia for the next one. They can just do some CGI and Kathleen Turner, and we're there. It's fine.
But can I just say a part that really made me smile, just like I thought was funny, was how Adam Driver gets when he sees the Millennium Falcon, and he's like, "Shoot that piece of junk down." I just love that kind of stuff. He's so angry still that anything that reminds him of his father, he just has these fits, these tantrums. I mean,
well, I'll be I'll be watching it.
You should see it.
You
should check it out.
But I'm going to check it out, I'm going to wait 2 or 3 weeks at least, because I don't want to see it with a bunch of cheerleaders in the audience. I mean, the last time that I saw a Star Wars movie, it was a critic screening. There were only about 30 people there, maybe 35, and half of them had, these critics now, had lightsabers in their hands and stuff. And I was like, ah.
Are you sure they weren't happy to see you, Dean? Are you sure they weren't happy to see you?
But I was like, boy. I just want to see it with 3 or 4 old people in the audience, at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday.
You want to see it when the picket line stops. You want to see it when the picket line stops.
It was so fun. It was so fun to watch it with people that were really into it, though. It was a good time.
I'll let them have their good time. I'll just stay off of it to the side and just appreciate the movie for what it is.
Well, there's so much more to see before then, though. There's so much other things to see.